Now, as for this sketchy mess, it's hard to work around. Let's see if we can take the sketch level from about a 7 to maybe a 4. Okay. This is probably like a 5, 5.5. It's more maneuverable, that's for sure. You know, position it way easier, but you know, might be hard to clean up some of the spots here. Yep, nope. I don't think this is quite it either. Well, that's not nearly as sketchy. I'd give that a solid. It's a solid 3, probably. I'm gonna have to be careful. I'm kind of stepping up my game a little bit here. I'm used to feeling like, you know, my life's in danger constantly. This actually kind of makes me feel a little comfortable. We'll see how it goes, but. All right. Well, I'm gonna start with prepping up this surface. I'm gonna get this cleaned up and ready to rock and roll. And then we'll see if we can get the motor straight up and down or upside down. I don't know if I got it spaced out far enough. But we'll see if we can get it upside down and get the oil pan off and get that piston out. And then we'll work on that cylinder. First things first, let's get this prepped. All right, now I like to, you know, get the oil, grease, you know, anything like that off the surface before I start, because it just helps keep any of the dust buildup and stuff like that from sitting here and brushing on it, from building up and sticking to it as bad. So I do like to give it a little wipe down first. It's the good stuff. That right there gives you a real good look at that piston. See that right there? That is a chunk of valve. I'll have to inspect that turbo real good. Oh no, you got a little spider that fell down in there. I don't think he's gonna make it. Get this thing cleaned up and covered up. I like to use these right here. A lot of people use them for aluminum prep and stuff because they're not aggressive. I mean, unless you really turn up the RPM and bear down on them, they're not real aggressive and they won't gouge stuff. And so on this iron, if you just take your time, and that's what I like about this, you can turn the RPMs down on it. You just take your time, light pressure. You can go over this and make it just beautiful. It's a nice surface, and the head gasket has no problem sealing to it. This is exactly what I did the last time. And well, it wasn't pushing no fluid. It had no head gasket problems. It just had a, you know, valve going by problem. But anyway, let's get this cleaned up. Another thing, on all these edges here and stuff, if you can, or any edge, if you can, have the rotation going into it, and it won't try and grab on it and dig in as much because it's kind of falling off of it. If you're going where the rotation's hitting it, a lot of times it'll try and roll under that edge, and that's when you'll get a lot more cut. So if you can always keep your rotation going into a hole, you won't get near as much gouge into the material. Alright, I think I can give her a good wipe down now. Go through, wipe all the cylinders out again. Get any of that dust out of there. And in case you're wondering, this is the same one that I used on the last head. And as you can tell, very light pressure. Like, you're not even wearing this at all. You're not putting anywhere on the head. I mean, I don't know if the camera can pick it up. You can still see the lines from the head gasket, where the head gasket actually seals, where the head gasket itself pushes down into the iron. So you're not taking, anything off these, microscopic amount. So you're not hurting anything with these if you take your time and go light. All right, let's get this wiped down. green, that means it's good. Now, a person doesn't have to do this, but it will help prevent from, you know, getting anything on the surface that you don't want on there. It'll also help you prevent from getting anything down into these cylinders that you don't want in there. There's a lot of you out there that probably say this is a complete overkill. You ain't got to do all that crap. Pull out the piston, hone it, slap it in the new one, go on with your life. Well, that may be so, but it just helps me sleep at night. Takes care of my OCD. Okay, I admit, I went a little far. But hey, got 3 rolls of tape. Why not? All right, now, let's see if I can get this rolled over without killing myself. I'm a dummy. There's still oil in here. We need to take care of that first. Oh yeah, look at that, good. All right, now let's see how this goes. Leave a little bit of tension on there. It's wanting to go this way. Oof, the bolt is going to bite me. Outside of the bolt and maybe that bracket, we might be able to make it. Let's get the end of those bolts cut off. Death wheel, oh death wheel. Woo! Barely on there. Stay. Safety squints engaged. And this does have one of those grinder guards on it. It's just one of those new blue teeth models. Ooh, scary. Y'all just get in there. We probably ain't even going to have to cut that one off. Oh, no way. Okay, I spaced it right. That is awesome. Oh no, a piston fell out. Whew. One of those fancy hand crank models sure would be nice right about now. Yeah, it would. That makes things real nice. Oh no. Oh, dang. Smells like dinosaurs. Look at that nice factory girdle. Ain't that just a pretty thing? Woo dang. This piston on here we're taking out, right? Hope so. Oh, that looks good. A few little spots where it looks like it might have had water in there or something. That don't look bad at all, not for 165,000 miles. Standard. Nice fracture rods. Oh yeah. This thing is walloped really good. Let the bearing go. Oh. What is that? What is that? Something did go. Well, that is a nick in the bearing, and that is very, very unfortunate. Anyhow, I ain't even sourced a piston yet. Let's go see if I can find a piston in a rod and see if piston I find's got a better bearing in it. Dang it. Well, let's go to the parts room, see if we can find a piston. Telling me. Oh, crap. Huh. We can probably use that. That'll go right on there. Save it when we put it back together. Oh yeah, it's been throwing out good impact. Axles. All kinds of good stuff over here. Let's see. Oh, I think I see something. Aha! Knew there was one out here. Beautiful. Well, our replacement rod and piston, fortunately the bearing ain't much better in it. At least not that I want to reuse. So we're going to have to go source us a bearing now. Fair enough. Well, I contacted the owner and talked to him a little bit, and I pulled the #1 rod and rod cap because I wanted to see what it looked like, and it's good. I mean, it's got a few of those little indentations in it, but other than wear, you know, as far as wear goes or anything like that, it looks good. But after talking with the owner, he said, well, we're going to have to get a full set of rod bearings, so might as well do all 6 of them. So I'm going to put the bearing and cap back on #1 so we can finish at least the cylinder and stuff for #6. We can get it honed and get the rings and the piston and everything ready and go by getting a set of bearings. Be careful not to hit the journal here. The last thing I want to do is nick that journal. All the other problems this thing's been fighting us with. Okay. Make sure there ain't no grit or nothing on here. Alright. Let's get that bearing in there. Which right now, we're not so much worried about bearing life because we're going to put new rod bearings in it. But I don't want to have anything on the bearings that may nick the journal, because then that opens up a whole new can of worms. Alright, sitting in there perfect. I just gotta get it pulled back up here. I'll tell you one thing, this piston here still seals good. With that little bit of tape on the cylinder, it does not want to move. I know one thing. I'll do the rest of these. I'm gonna take this damn girdle off and get it out of my way. Yes, sir, I surely am going to take this girdle off and get it out of the way. Little bit of assembly lube. Oh yeah. Here we go. There we go. That'll keep her happy. suction that bearing back to the journal. There we go. And the good thing about these cracked rods are, you don't have to mark them. If you just pay attention to them, they'll only go back one way. No such thing as too much lube. Lube is your friend in any engine. And yes, I'm going to tap these in with the impact because the cap's coming back off. And I can already tell you from taking that cap off, this impact don't get nowhere near the torque rating. There. That should keep it happy. I don't even understand. Now I want that hole facing down while I hone this because I don't want none of this junk going down inside of the crank. Alright, and now before we completely forget, we gotta get that piston oil squirter out down there. Voila, it's out. Okay. I think we're good. Another drill has been acquisitioned. Alright, this one sounds just as bad. Let's send it. Oh yeah, now it's there. Oh yeah. And it's got some beautiful cross hatching in it. I don't know how well it shows up on the camera. That is good. Oh yeah. Yep. Still need to do some more cleaning, but yep, that will do the job. That will do the job. That feels nice. That feels real nice. Alright. I've used about a case of brake cleaner on this thing. I went through here Got everything just about as spotless as I can. I'm gonna give everything a little spritz down with WD-40 so nothing sets up any surface rust. All right, we'll put that oil squirter back in there too. And I'll probably rotate the motor over once. That way I can make sure you get the whole crank and everything. Perfect. Like everything on a Cummins, you torque them down to 18 foot-pounds. That's, you know, what everything torques down to on a Cummins. Ah, 18 foot-pounds. Oh yeah, crosshatch is shining now. Alright, I think it's got her really, really good. That was a lot of hand scrubbing, but we got all the carbon off where it mattered. Now we're gonna pull the wrist pin out here so we can clean up the wrist pin, make sure there's no debris inside there that we can't see. Just give the piston a quick spray off and then we'll put it back together. And then we'll start sizing our rings. And what you want to look at here before we get too far is look at your rod and piston orientation. The rod opening is to the left side, the oil squirter divot is on the right. So that'll help you remember your orientation when you're putting the piston back together, as long as you got this oil squirter divot looking up at you. Now, it probably doesn't make a huge difference that pin come out this way, and since there's already wear on the bushings and everything's kind of meshed together here, I want to make sure that I put that pin back in the same direction that I took it out, you know, just for me. All right, so the writing goes down. All right, good. That can help me with keeping track of the orientation myself. I got the writing going down. All right, other than our rod bearings, everything else seems to be looking good in here. And we do have rod bearings coming. I got the owner out doing my parts running for me. He's running all over the state to try and get them today. So we should have all of our rod bearings today. We'll swap all those out, put new ones in. Make her a fresh unit. Just gotta break loose this carbon here. We're not getting aggressive because we don't want to cut grooves or anything into the piston. We're just lightly going across it. The screwdriver is much harder than this piston, so it don't take nothing for it to break this carbon loose. Note to self, don't forget to put the Torx bolt in that hole, which I probably will do. I'm gonna have to take all this back off whenever I go to put on suction tube. So much more room for activities over here now. All right, so I finally got some bearings here. Some mole, Clevite. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce none of that. Anyway, we got some bearings in, finally. They are standard size, OEM quality. Ooh, look at that pretty thing. There's the lower. Got a little bit of dust on it, but not bad. All right. Here's the upper. She just ain't hurt. So our minimum bearing clearance is 1,500. Our max is 4,500. So that's 2 to 5,000. So we're gonna put these in, and then we're gonna run some plastic gauge over it. And let's see, the blue is 4 to 9 thousandths. Green is 1 to 3 thousandths, and the red is 2 to 6 thousandths. So red is what we want. Now this here is not, you know, dead accurate, but it'll usually get you within a thousandths. So as long as it's reading about the middle of our tolerance, I'm gonna be happy with it, and we're just gonna send it. All right, let's get these in here. Perfect. Let's get this crank spun over here and into the rod so I can dry off a spot. And we can get this lower bearing in. And we can torque it and see if we're within spec. There we go. You have to be careful because you do not want to scratch your journal surface. So just take your time on this part and you will thank yourself for it later. Alright, on to the torque specs. Oh. Get up here. Just. Oh, no, don't dare. No. Hey, rod cap torque. 22 foot-pounds, followed by 44. Then you rotate 60 degrees. I'm going to do the 22, the 44, and then probably do about 30 degrees, and then take it back apart and check it. We're gonna use this. Fancy. All right, 22 is your first number. We just got to get her seated down here first. And the reason why I didn't put any lube in at all is because we're not rotating this, and I don't want any oil taking up any extra clearance. There's already a light film of oil on the crank everywhere except where I wiped it off. I'm just wanting this to be an accurate measurement as we can get. Click. Click. All right, 44 was the next one. $44. Aha. Click. 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 Turns out my degree gauge is junk. Doesn't work very well. So we're going to eyeball this, and 30 degrees is going to be about right here. So that's what we're aiming for. That's about 30 degrees. That'll be about the same position. Alright. There is the torque. Alright, now let's take it back apart and look at our plastic gauge. And the crank luckily didn't move at all, so our results should not be askewed. Alright, let's see if we can get this off here. Now we got the cap, then get the bearing. Aha! That is a nice, good reading. Let's see. Probably want to go right for the middle of it. That's looking like 3,000. I think we're going to be good on that one. Rotate the crank away from it. We need to put some lube in this bottom bearing now. Bearing looks beautiful. I don't see nothing in it. All right, flush on the tang side. All right, got us plenty of lube there. Let's pull it back up into place. Perfect. All right, a little bit of lube here. I want to make sure that this tank is level on this side because we got level on the tang side on the other one. The cap is not a perfect break. This side is a little low, so the bearing is going to be a little high here because on the rod the bearing was setting inset whenever it had this side over here flush. So it's something to pay attention to, something to keep in mind when you're doing these broken cap style rods. All right, now we're going to torque it down to 22 foot-pounds. Oops, passed it. 22. Click. 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 Now we'll do 44. 44. One smooth, natural pull. You never want to be jerky on a torque wrench because that will give you inaccurate readings. All right. And now we're going to want to go 60 degrees. We're going to want to go 60 degrees. We ain't straight 12 o'clock, but 60 degrees is right around the 2 o'clock area. So that's where we're going to go. That's right about 2 o'clock. It's right about 2 o'clock. Beautiful. Well, I think I was thorough enough on that. I'm gonna go ahead and knock out the other 5 and see if we can get this thing back together. Well, all right, we're all done. She's got all the rods in it. Rolls over consistent. Don't feel bad. We can get her. Anyway, camera died. As I was saying, motor's all put back together. We can start cleaning up and build the bottom end back up. And then we can flip her over and actually start putting this thing back together. I think we're done finding broke stuff, you know, for like 5 minutes. You know, maybe, possibly. Probably not, you know. It is what it is. But anyway, I'm gonna get this rest of this gasket off and then we'll put everything back on it. But if y'all wanna see that, you have to come back on the next one. But for now, this video's done. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for stopping by. Leave a like, comment. See you on the next one.